Now, in IS exam, right, true false are different from yes-no questions. Alright. True false tests about facts and figures, while yes-no tests about views of the right. That's why they are called viewpoint questions. Alright. So in the exam, if the exam says write true, you have to write true. Okay? If we say write no, you have to write no. Don't write false. If we say write true, you have to write true. You don't have to write yes. Because in the exam, there are yes-no questions and true-false questions. Yes. Yes. So you have to read the rubric very well and follow the rubric. You have to write true, don't write yes. Write false, don't write no. Likewise, write no, don't write false. Understand?
Yes.
And you have to write not given. And you have to write the correct way, the correct spelling of the way. Alright? That's one principle you must do. Alright. These are examples of yes-no questions, true-false questions, and yes-no questions. Alright? Okay. Now, in true-false and yes-no questions, the questions are called question statements. Because the questions are in the form of statements, not WH questions like who, what, in what way, where, when, how much. That is not. It's a statement. And every statement there is a topic and idea. Right? In every statement there is a topic and idea. Like this. This is the topic. This is the idea. The idea starts from the verb. Right? This is the topic. This is the idea. This is the topic. This is the idea. This is the topic. This is the idea.
Sometimes to escape itself.
Yes, because of the word is.
Yes.
Because in present tense. This is the topic. This is the idea. This is the topic. This is the idea. Alright? You have to do that when you analyze the question. You have to identify the topic and the idea first. What is true answer? True means when this idea about this topic in the question is the same idea presented in the text, that is true. That means similar idea. Okay?
To look similar.
Yes. What is false? False means when the idea about this topic in the question is opposite of that presented in the text, that is false. Opposite idea. Okay?
Okay.
Alright. What is not given? Not given means the topic in the question is given in the text. But the idea in the question is not given here. That means not given. So the topic is given in the text, but the idea is not given. That is not given. Another one, the idea here in the question is given in the text, but the topic is not given. That is still not given. That's the opposite of that. The idea is given, but the topic is not. That means when there is no topic, that is not given. So don't crack your head. When there is no topic, that is not given. Another one, both the topic and the idea in the question are not mentioned in the text. There is no information on the topic and the idea. So, no information or both the topic and idea are not given in the text. That is not given. Okay? Next. In true, false, and yes, no questions, there are testing words to use. These testing words are words in the question that are used by the statement that are used by the examiner to make the statement either true or false or not given. Right? These are the testing words. Words which are negative, like no, not, words that begin with negative prefixes, like illegal, immobile, at least not legal, not mobile, not connected, not relevant, not related, or all negative, with not and no. When you find this here, when you find any of the negative words, make that as your testing word. Another kind of testing word, comparative, like larger than, more important than, bigger than, higher than, more responsible than. Superlative, like the largest, the biggest, the most important, the most responsible. Alright? I'll give you one examination tip for this. Here, in the question statement, for example, there is a comparative structure like larger than, are you following me? Or more important than, or the biggest, or the most important, like. But in the text, there is no idea of comparison, then the answer is not given. You understand?
Yeah.
May I repeat? In the question statement, if there is comparative structure like larger than, more important than, or bigger than, but here in the text there is no idea of comparison, no idea of comparing, the answer is not given. Alright? Next. Other kinds of testing words are adjectives, adverbs. These are testing words, any adverb, adjective, because they change the meaning of the adjective and the adverb, and the nouns and the verbs. Frequency words like always, usually, be careful. These have different meanings. Understand? And quantifiers like all, some, many, most. Okay. A little, a few, appreciable. These are words used by the examiner because they have different meanings and they change the meaning of the noun. Like say, all girls is different from some girls, right? They are opposite. Like always is different from sometimes. With me? So you use this as your testing.
If you hear always, there sometimes.
Some, that means all.
All.
Yes, like okay. You see all here, all girls are good. Here, some girls are good. That means opposite. That means all. Yes. Okay? Now, here are the testing words. This is the testing word. Adjective. Total population. Equal. Adjective. Describing proportion. Equal proportion. Be careful of it. 20%. describing the proportion of overweight or obese children in China. Downward trend. Adjective describing trend. Sharply. Adverb describing rise. The most important. Superlative describing the role. Understand? So be careful of it. These are important parts of the question that make the sentence either true or false or not given. Now, let's start with question number 1. We have to start with the first question because the questions follow the order of information in the passage. They come in order. That is number 1, here, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then underline the keywords in the question, and then you skim the passage to get a good idea and to locate the area or the part where the writer is discussing his view on the topic or idea presented in the first question. Why you have to do this? Because in the test, for example, you have to use the keyword to find the location of the answer. For example, question number 1 is here. Question number 2 is next here. It should not go down up. Understand?
Yeah.
So you have to go down. So you have to start with question number 1. It is not possible that question number 3 is here, number 1 here, number 5 here, number 2 here, number 6 here. Alright? Like that. Okay? Now, let's answer. This is the keyword US. Just over 1/3 of the total population of the US is overweight. Topic, idea, our keyword. Then go to text and look for the keyword. So here. In true, false, and yes, no, you have to read the sentence, not only a word, but the whole sentence. You have to read and understand and get the topic here and mark with the topic. Always start with the topic. The U.S. continues to lead the way with as many 37% of its children and adolescents carrying around too much fat. This is the topic. As many as 37%. This is the same as just over 1/3. The same meaning. Of each children and adolescent here of the total population of the US. So the topic is here, this one. The topic is this. Now, is this topic children and adolescents the same as total population?
Yes.
With children and adolescents, the topic here is the same as total population. Are they the same? Are they similar? No. Therefore, it is not true. Is this children and adolescents opposite of total population? Are they opposite? Total population is opposite of children and adolescents. What do you mean by total population?
All population.
All.
Yeah.
So is this all total population the same as children and adolescents?
No.
Are they opposite?
No.
No. Therefore, not true, not false. So therefore, the answer is not given.
Okay.
Because the given here is children and adolescents.
Yeah.
Only a part of total population.
Yeah.
The total population is not given here. That means the topic is not given. So the answer is not given. But the idea is given is overweight. Too much fat means overweight. So the topic is not given, but the idea is given. So not given. Okay? So this is number 1. Then we go to number 2, Asia. Look for the topic Asia and Europe as a keyword.
Europe this one. Asia.
Asia, Europe. Is the topic given here?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, you have to go to the idea.
Yeah.
The idea is equal proportion of these children. Asia and Europe have equal proportion. It's the testimony. Equal proportion. Here, now read. Asia lags behind the US and Europe in its obesity statistics.
Behind, not equal.
So, that means the topic is given, but the idea is opposite.
Opposite, yeah.
This is lags behind, here equal. Therefore, the answer is true or false?
False.
False. Because equal is opposite of lags behind. Understand?
Yeah.
So that means false. So the topic is given, but the idea is opposite. Therefore, false. Next, then look for the word China. China. Then read the sentence. Here, it is forecast that the proportion of overweight or obese children in China will reach 20% in 10 years' time. Here, up to 10% of China's 290 million children are already believed to be overweight or obese. The topic is there, right? And that percentage means 10%. And that percentage is expected to have doubled. What percent by doubled?
20.
20. A decade means 10 years time, and decades from now. So the topic is given. Is the idea the same?
Yeah.
So what's the answer? True. That is you have to answer. Is number 3. Now let's go to number 4. This one is the keyword. This is the keyword. The keyword. Let's check the keyword. Here. So from here to here is number 4. Then here insulin level, number 5. And parents, number 6. Read only the sentence with the keyword. Okay? All right.